The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me just say, after Vera distorting the belt to proclaim me the real world champion, I'm going to tell you all, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. When you walk around this world and you tell everybody you're number one, the only way you get to stay number one is to be number one.
And hi, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of the ACHA Power Play. We are live here on the Belly Up Network of podcasts and, of course, on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. We invite you to subscribe to our network and see all of our great shows that we have there, the ACHA Power Play and, of course, the Captain Lou Extravaganza and whatever else we might be having going on the Captain Lou Sports Network. But tonight we're going to concentrate on the ACHA Power Play. And we welcome you to that here this weekend, or tonight rather, as the road to St. Louis and the 2024 National Championships. It's less than 4 months away before we have puck drop. March 7th is when the festivities begin at the Centene Center. All 5 divisions, 82 teams are going to be converging on St. Louis on March 7th through the 17th. 3 in the men's, 2 in the women's on the divisions. And it's going to be a great, great tournament again, as it always is. We got a great show planned for you tonight. We're going to look at the rankings. They're out for the men's division 2 in all the 4 regions. And we'll tell you the top 14 teams. Those are the ones that you got to look for as far as the divisional breakdowns go for the regional tournaments coming up in February. Also, we'll take a look at the rankings in men's division 1 and 3 and the latest in women's division 1 that was just released a little while ago, as a matter of fact. So we'll take a look at those. We got a couple of great guests lined up. Scheduled to join us in a couple of moments will be Travis Rybchinski from the University of Dakota College-Bottineau. They've been to the national tournament the last couple of years, made it to the Final Four a couple of years ago in St. Louis. Travis is going to stop by. We're going to talk some Lumberjack hockey as they are off again to another fine start in Division 2, right at the top of the West region with still a lot of season to go. I get it, but right now they are in one of the 2 spots that you want to be in to get that automatic bye into the national tournament. Coming up at the bottom of the hour tonight, we're going to be talking with Brandon Orth from Saginaw Valley State, as their team right now ranked 8th in Division 3. But right now, let's go to our guest line. And let's bring in the head coach of Dakota College-Bottineau, Travis Rybchinski. Travis, thanks again for taking time out tonight to be with us. How are you?
You got it, Lou. Great to be on with you. Always appreciate your coverage of ACHA hockey, and also, you have a decent team when you get the call from you. So we appreciate it.
Well, hey, the pleasure's all mine. I like how you were able to come on at a moment's notice. This is really awesome. It's, I know they call this the marathon part of the schedule, Travis, but it's always fun to talk hockey in November. When it's getting close to Thanksgiving, you got to start thinking maybe it is maybe a little more of a sprint time of year, because before you know it, it's going to be February,
Yeah, looking at our schedule too, it's we haven't had a weekend off here, and it's sort of need one to, I think, recharge the batteries and get through some bumps and bruises here. But then we always get a good break at Christmas time. So, but yeah, definitely a tough part of the schedule, and we usually have a really tough schedule. So that's what we're known for, and we'll take it. And it's been a grind so far, and it'll keep getting better, but that's how we're going to get better. So, and then with the way the rankings are now, if you need that strength of schedule to get up there, and that's why we play the better teams.
We we've talked about this before on the show, but for those that might be watching for the first time, with ACHA hockey at the D1 and D2 level, North Dakota is just, that area is amazing with the amount of teams at the D1 and D2 level. And I mean, you guys just pound the bejesus out of each other every weekend when you play, Jamestown, you guys, Providence, Mary, Minot State, just to name a few. You're indeed right. It is a grind.
Yeah, and that's the thing is what's been awesome. Like this is my 23rd year here now, and 23 years ago, I think there might have been one other team in the state, so
Wow.
maybe two. So, but it's all the schools have wanted to put a good product on the ice, and I mean, like you look at Minot, and Jamestown, and Mary, and we're they're good teams, and that's they've done great at the D1 level so far this year. All those three teams, and then now we added Lake Region here in Devil's Lake. That once they get everything established, it's going to be a fun little rivalry for us. And then Williston's had a little bit of down year, but the new coach here, I think he's going to do a really good job. So it's going to be awesome when we get everyone going here strong.
Well, one of the things that, now, if I'm wrong, you got to correct me right off the shoot, but you're a 2-year school, right?
Yes, we are.
And that's the other thing that amazes me with the amount of success, Travis, that you've had over the years. You're going up against these 4-year programs, and so your turnover is, to me, is just so amazing that you're able to keep the success level that you've had in the last few years.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, Lou. Honestly, the hardest part I just find is, we're these kids right out of high school now, like 18, 19-year-olds. It's tough for them to come in and have a bigger role than it has been in the past. And, and that's what really hurt us last year. We had a lot of kids right out of high school.
Yeah.
And by the second half of the year, they figured it out. But, it's tough when you're playing against someone who's 25, 26
Oh my
years
goodness.
old. And we had, we played Montana State this past weekend, and they were a big physical, fast team. And, we had the ice bags out for sure, but it was just, the difference I felt in the whole weekend was just the maturity and the age, honestly. The experience factor was big, and that's sort of where I don't know, Corey, my assistant coach, I think he's been with me 12 years. So I always say we have the experience in the coaching ranks, and hopefully the players, we can give them a little comfort in that.
Yeah, I noticed that over the weekend. Kind of a tough go, but that's going to help you too when you go later on with the rankings and whatnot.
Yeah, I thought like Friday night our power play let us down, and we the coach has to figure that out. So but then we heard of the rankings. I think they came out Friday evening.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I saw that, and I'm like, oh crap, because you know how if you're the number 2 team, you're playing the number 1 team, you're gonna get extra fired up, and
Sure.
and so I was like, oh, that might go against us a little bit Saturday, and Montana State came out flying, guns a-blazing, and I think they were up 3-0 in the first 10 minutes. So, but yeah, no, but it's what, it's still good. I'm glad we're proud of the fact that we were ranked number 1, and like every D2 team out there, you want to be 1 or 2 come the end of the year for sure.
Well, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that right now. You and I have talked about it before. You don't have to go through that regional bracket. I look at a team like Iowa last year that, yeah, they got to the championship game, but that gauntlet that you have to run, some teams now got to play 3 games in 3 days just to get out of the regional tournament. So, man, that is huge.
Yeah, and the thing is, like out west, like teams everywhere else in the country don't understand the travel we have to do. Like, and I don't even know officially where regionals are yet, but we've heard it's going to be a plane ride for us, and then the other thing is the cost, right? So,
oh my,
so it's so it's important. Hopefully we can get one or two, but if not, it's going to be a dogfight. Like where's me and the coaching staff from Montana were talking, and I think there's basically at least 12 to 14 teams that can come out of the West for sure to go to nationals. So, so you got to be ready to go every night.
Well, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I mean, that's down the road. But one last question about the play at the Nationals. You notice, to me, the biggest difference once you get there is the defensive play. Just ratchet it's up, almost tenfold. I mean, you can't make the mistakes, obviously, but that's the thing that really impresses me once you get there, how much different that is.
Well, I think the speed too of some of the teams
Okay.
that you watch them on hockey on the web or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're like, you see them live, and you're like, wow, they're fast. And I thought last year, like we went on a magical run to go there. We probably shouldn't have been in there. We had excellent goaltending.
Mhm.
Mason really helped us, but then I think our guys we're just too young. Where we had they don't understand the difference. You have to approach the game and everything like that at nationals, because it's playoff. I thought we got a little experience at regionals, and then nationals is a totally different level. Where 2 years ago when we had a team that made the Final Four, we had a lot of those veterans there, and we had a lot of third-year guys actually from our school, and we brought our level up, where I think guys now learned from last year's nationals, and we're carrying that up to this year's team. So, it's all a learning process, but yeah, it's definitely, there's so many good teams in the ACHA in every division, and it's fun when you're watching those teams, but it sucks when you're losing
Well,
to some of those teams too. But you know what, like it's good hockey, and that's what people just don't understand.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that point about how fun it is. I remember when you and I were watching one of the games in St. Louis, you told me this is the fun part, you said, for about until the end of the game. Then I got to really go back to it. It was the night before you guys were getting ready for the semis. You were able to take it in a little bit, and
Yeah.
but the atmosphere there is fun.
No, it's and that's what you strive for to get there, right? And and that's our goal this year, is to get there, and we'll see how things shape up. But no, I like our team this year so far. We're just, like I said, we got sort of we sort of need a few days off here to get some bugs and bumps, and we got like 4 regulars out of the lineup right now, so that hurts a little bit.
Well, I see that you've got a couple of games, if I'm looking at the schedule right, this weekend against Williston, and then before Thanksgiving you get to play University of Mary. So a little rest for the weary, but then you've got a big one right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, Williston, I think, has surprised a lot of people. They got a late start in recruiting and coaching situation there, but they've had a good start to their season. And then, yeah, Mary, I think like I knew they'd be a top 10 in D1, but I didn't. They're top 3 right now, I think. So I mean, Dan does a great job there, and they're always going to be ready to play us too. So we've had a fun little rivalry where we beat them a couple times, and hopefully we can play well against them and do it again.
So we're joined by Travis Rybchinski, the head coach of Dakota College-Bottineau, here on the ACHA Power Play. You talked about the kids being young and getting experience. How long? I see on your roster this year, Travis, you got a good mix of freshmen and sophomores. How long before, like halfway through the year, whatever, before they really get, they're not labeled as maybe inexperienced, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, I always say like till Christmas time,
Okay.
and it takes, just because a lot of those guys, like, the hockey wise, but then you throw in like homework and schooling and living away from home, maybe for the first time. So I always think it takes freshmen a little time to adjust. The difference with a lot of our freshmen this year compared to last year was, they've had some junior experience,
Okay.
so we have a couple older new guys who came. So that's made a big difference in transition as well. So And then, with a lot of second year guys showing them the way. So yeah, so it's been a good mix, and our young guys have actually, I've been really impressed with them so far this year. It's not the deer in the headlights look. It's like, hey, we're going to go out and make a difference, and so it's been fun seeing the growing process on that.
Now, I know you don't like to single out a lot of people, but who are the guys that maybe you've leaned on for that experience, maybe as captains or the leaders on the team?
Well, we have our captain's Leighton Holstein. He's actually a third year player from Boissevain, Manitoba, and he's been excellent for us, a good leader by example. And he's I don't even know his point total, but he's probably at least one or two, or around two a game. I'm guessing he's had a really good year so far on the stat sheet as well. But yeah, so he brings a little quiet presence to us and keeps guys in line. And then we've had Aiden Morelli step up. He's another captain for us from Minot, who's I think he had 4 or 5 goals last year, and he's already got 7. So it's been going in for him. And then we've had Riley Opperud. He's a smaller defenseman for us who's makes things happen on the back end. And then our goalie Mason Matthew. He's the real deal and really good. Just got good form and good positioning all the time, and he's a big body. So we can cheat a little on things and know that he's going to stop most of them in the back end there.
So you mentioned that the power play was something you might have to work on a little bit. What else do you think you need maybe to touch up on a little bit, as you make your run here going into December and then into the beginning of 2024 before postseason?
Yeah, we just got to we have some guys actually struggling, I think, right now who I thought would have a few more points, and I think they're just tight, a little clenching the stick a little too tight. So I really we really been trying to work in practice here on getting pucks and guys to the net, because I thought that's Montana's got such a big D. We were scared, I think, to go in front of the net against them, and they did a nice job defending, so we couldn't get in there. So that's one area I just want us to get a little more grittier and go to the net, and then just shooting the puck, because I always say it's a simple game, and sometimes we complicate things, but we just got to go back to basics and really the other thing we got to clean up though is penalties as well. We've given up way too many 5-on-3s this year, and it's just like we'll be killing a penalty, and then a guy will get a stick caught and it'll be a hook, and it's like we're getting practice on 5-on-3s, that's for sure. But yeah, just clean up some of those things, and then I always say too, the biggest difference I think in a lot of the freshmen is they just don't believe in themselves. They're still unsure, and once we get those guys believing in themselves a little more, I think sky's the limit.
So you said with the Christmas break, it gives a chance for the kids to kind of take a break and kind of rest up a little bit. Do you get a chance to let yourself take a break from the game at all for a little bit, or is it just 12 months out of the year, always thinking about the team?
No, you know what? I learned a lot when I was younger. I used to do like hockey camps year round and stuff, and then it would, you'd get to like November in your season, and you're just like, it's not fun going to the rink.
Yeah.
So I've learned that just like, hey, like make sure it's fun going to the rink every day, and we do it to these guys. And my assistant coach Corey Gorder, like we're a pretty good combo on the ice there, and just we try and make practice as fun as possible, because if we're not having fun, the kids probably aren't. So that's big. And then yeah, you got to take breaks for sure. Like we try to give our guys at least one day off a week where nothing hockey related, and we're pretty lucky. We practice Monday through Friday, and unless we play, so that part's pretty good for us. And then we have a good support system here where we'll do study sessions, and most kids live close by or in the dorms, so we're pretty lucky that we get we can I can call the kids right now and say we're meeting in 15 minutes, and they'd all be here pretty quick. So So that part's good. But yeah,
Yeah.
you need a break, just because I just I've seen it with other sports and other coaches over the
Yeah.
years at our school, and the kids just get burnt out and don't want to be here, and that's the worst thing that could happen. So, but yeah, and then actually I'm really excited this year. We're doing a family trip between Christmas and New Year's, so we're taking the family to New York City. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
yeah. So, but it's hockey related. We're gonna catch an NHL game, and then might catch a Army D1 game as well. So, so yeah, it'll be good to get away from work and
Yeah.
just make some good family memories.
Who you gonna watch? NHL.
Well, I really want to take the family to Madison Square
Yeah.
Garden, but my pocketbook says New Jersey Devils. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I
um,
hear you.
but it's yeah, and anytime you can get to an NHL game, it's good, right? So but I sort of saw the schedule and picked out to where we're gonna go, and that was probably our best option. And I think it's gonna be pretty awesome to get down to New York City there.
Yeah, my quick funny story is my wife and I, when we got married 4 years ago, we went on our honeymoon to Washington, D.C. We were able to see the Capitals. Well, her
Oh,
stepson moved to Arizona, and he lives in Scottsdale. So we're going down there in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we're going to catch an NHL game. And who are we going to see the Coyotes play? The Washington Capitals again.
hey, that's okay though when you
Yeah.
see Ovechkin, so
And I hear that's a cool rink
yeah.
to go to. There's not a bad seat in the house, even though it's only 5,500 people.
Yeah, honestly, that was on our list too of potential places to go over Christmas, but I just knew it's tougher to get tickets
Yeah.
there, and then so, but yeah, no, it's like the weather will help too. I'm sure when you go.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a scouting report on how cool it is to watch a game there when I see you in St. Louis, because I got a feeling I will.
Well, yeah, that'll be great, Lou, and I know us coaches, we really appreciate the coverage that you
Yeah.
do and the
Thank you.
play-by-play you do. You do an unbelievable job at nationals. It's always good. We have the Flow Hockey on listening, and it's you always make games very exciting, and
Well,
and
thank
so
you.
I know people don't realize the work you guys do at nationals to get everything ready, and I see you guys in the break room there, and it's unbelievable job that you guys do. So I know we really appreciate it, and I know the parents who can't make nationals and stuff appreciate it. So thanks for all the job you guys do.
Thank you for the kind words. That makes it worth it. Travis, enjoy your trip to New York. Thanks on short notice again for coming on tonight.
Anytime if someone bails on you,
All
I
right.
just need 15-minute notice and I'll be there for you.
All right.
So,
Right on. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving and good luck the rest of the year. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lou. Take it easy.
All right. You too. Travis Rybchinski, the head coach of Dakota College-Bottineau. And, we talk about them a lot. It is a 2-year school. And, it's to me is remarkable the success that they have. Again, you're going up against the 4-year schools, and to me it seems like a disadvantage. And some of these kids have been together for 3-4 years, and so their success is even that more impressive to me. And we're going to take a look after a quick break at the Division 1 or Division 2 rankings, and again we'll go through just a little bit of again what it takes to make it to the national tournament at the Division 2 level. All right, you're watching the ACHA Power Play. It's live right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube, powered up by Belly Up Sports, and we will be right back with more right here on the ACHA Power Play.
It's the biggest game of the year, and your team doesn't have a coach. They don't even have a game plan. You probably aren't feeling very good about their chances. Make sure you're prepared for one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, retirement. Do you have a coach? What about a plan? Set yourself up for success by calling 877-222-8849 and having Mindy and Nolan McIntosh and their team at McIntosh & Associates create your retirement playbook. They'll help you think through taxes, income, legacy planning, and much more. When you're done, you'll have a customized retirement game plan that you can feel confident in. Start planning today with Central Michigan's retirement coaches, Mindy and Nolan McIntosh at McIntosh & Associates. Call 877-222-8849. That's 877-222-8849. Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Captain Lou Extravaganza, or sorry, the ACHA Power Play on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Get them mixed up. I'll tell you what, I don't know. Maybe I need a break from work, huh? We'll blame it on that. Welcome, everybody, again, back to the program. Again, want to thank Travis Rybchinski from Dakota College-Bottineau. The Lumberjacks sitting at the top of the men's Division II rankings as of last Friday in the West region. They've been a national championship participant the last couple of years, and looking to get back to St. Louis again for another opportunity at the top of the mountain, currently occupied by UMass Amherst as the defending champions in Division II. Again, want to thank everybody for joining us here live on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Follow us on Facebook at the Captain Lou Extravaganza, or my page, Louis Gamlin, or follow me on Twitter or X at The Real Captain Lou, or subscribe to our network, the Captain Lou Sports Network. You can see all of our ACHA Power Plays, 7th season right now of the ACHA Power Play. And we've got that in our Captain Lou Extravaganza that we do as well, and any other programs that we've got here on our Captain Lou Sports Network. So just kind of a little heads up on where you can find all of those. All right. Right now, what I want to do while we've got a moment is kind of take a look. We talked about the first rankings for the men's Division II, and let's see if I can bring those up for you real quick. As again, how it works with the way the rankings are, we've talked about it a lot, but for those of you that may not know, is the top 2 teams in each region in men's Division II get the automatic bye to the national tournament, and then they take 2 of the remaining teams out of each region to go to nationals to form the 16-team tournament, which breaks down into pool play for the first 3 days of the nationals. So if you take a look at the men's regions, we'll go, first of all, in the central rankings and the northeast rankings. You've got St. Thomas in the central, Lindenwood 2, they would get the automatic berths. And then as you can see on the screen, Concordia would be 3. You can look all the way down to Marion at 14, which, that means those teams would be in the regional tournament coming up in February. And it is a bracketed tournament, one and done, kind of a March Madness feel to it. The top 4 teams get a bye, and then the last 8 teams will play in the opening round of the regional play. So, like I said, a team like Iowa last year that was 9th, I think, in their region, ended up they went 3 straight games where they had to make the run through, and they did, and then they made it all the way to the championship game. So not only did they get that extra game, but then they had to, then they got to nationals, which everybody goes through pool play from there. But anyways, if you see in the central region, St. Thomas number 1, Lindenwood 2, they would get the auto bids as of right now into the national tournament. In the northeast, you've got Northeastern and New Hampshire ranked 1 and 2. Those 2 teams would get the automatic berth. Then you got Bentley all the way down to Siena, as you can see at 14. They would be playing in the regional tournament as well. And then in the southeast, you've got Indiana ranked number 1 in the rankings right now in the central region. And then you would you can see that Florida Gulf Coast, or in the southeast region, I beg your pardon, Florida Gulf Coast would be ranked 2nd. Then it would go from Kentucky all the way down to Bowling Green to see who would make it to the regional tournament out of the next 2. And finally, in the West, we talked about it, the Lumberjacks of Dakota College, number 1. They took on Montana State, who is ranked number 2. Both those 2 teams have the auto bids as well, or they would if it ended this week. And, of course, those 2 teams played last Friday. Montana State victorious. They may bump Dakota College to number 1, but I don't see Dakota College falling very far. If they do get bumped, then you've got Utah State at 3 all the way down to Loyola at 14, and all those teams would match up in the regional tournament. it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's cool or if it's just a little odd. The one thing that I've noticed about this regional rankings is the Southeast and the Northeast, or I'm sorry, the Central and the Southeast. Michigan State is in the Central region, and Michigan is in the Southeast. So kind of odd that those two teams are in different regions, but like I said, a little bit different. So, anyways, just kind of a little tidbit there. Let's go back to the phone lines right now, though, and let's bring in the head coach of Saginaw Valley, who's kind enough to take time out, Brandon North. Brandon, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you again for coming on the show here tonight. Hey, first of all, big weekend. I know it was just a split. I know you would obviously like to win both, but a good weekend for you against one of the powerhouses in Division III in Hope.
Yeah, we're obviously thrilled to get one of the wins out of the two games. Like you said, 2 wins would have been ideal, but I'm happy with how our guys played. We had 2 big injuries, unfortunately, happened Friday during our game. So Saturday was a pleasant surprise to see guys step up and kind of take that role of the guys that went down an injury. And just really happy with how the guys showed up and played at our home barn.
Your home barn is quite the place to watch a game, and I've heard the stories, and I promise I'm going to get up there. But I'm told that if I go there, I got to get there a couple hours early if I want to get a ticket, because the line to get in is huge.
Yeah, so this is the year of the program, and I remember the first home game that I was a part of. I was blown away myself. Just the Saginaw University students, they love their hockey, and we're obviously thrilled to provide them a good product. So we have probably roughly 300 to 400 students come to every home game, and they make it fun for us to play, but they make it fun for the opposing team, and keeps everybody on their toes. But yeah, it's a great environment for anybody that just loves to be at a hockey game. And even we have a lot of visiting parents even come up to a lot of our staff at games, and just they're blown away with everything that we kind of do. So it's definitely a cool environment.
So last year you guys made it to the Nationals in Boston. Pretty decent run. Obviously you didn't get where you wanted to be, but what did the team take from that last year coming on into this year and the run that you've had so far?
Yeah, so kind of like you said, we didn't obviously end the season like we would like to, but it's something to build off of. I know the year before they made the national tournament as well, and this past year we did better than the year before. So, just trying to get better each year and finish better than the year before. So, obviously making the quarterfinals last year, our goal is to not just make it to semifinals, but to make it to that national championship and be in that last game of the year and possibly win a national championship.
The way that the state of Michigan has dominated at that tournament and getting the amount of teams there, what is the secret? Why is it that you guys, all your teams in Michigan, do so well at the national tournament?
I wish I could tell you the secret formula for
it. Or you just don't want to tell me, do you?
Yeah, no, I can't give away all our secrets up here, but no, it's just the state of Michigan. They say the Minnesota's the hockey state, but really the state of Michigan takes pride in kind of what they do with recruiting. Like they don't just look at Michigan; they kind of get from everywhere possible. A lot of the Canadian junior players are coming to Michigan as well, and I think it's just the compete that we have the last few years in Michigan. You want to be better than that other team in Michigan, so everybody's just trying to outdo each other, and that's just making the state of Michigan better in general.
So we talk about you're at the D3 level, but this is going to be the last year for you guys at the D3 level because you're making the big jump next year.
We are, yep. So we're very excited for that. So with our goal is to, end our little tenure with the D3 level on a good note with, a national championship. But yes, we're very excited to, go Division I. Everybody that has been involved in the hockey program since it started, they work to get to this point, and we're just happy that we can do it for everybody that's been involved, and hopefully look to compete right away at that Division I level.
What is involved to getting the jump up? Because I know, like, when I started out doing the Aquinas games back in 2016 or 2015. My God, it's been that long ago already. They went from D3 to D2 to D1. What is involved with moving on up?
Yeah, so I know last year we were in the works of trying to go Division I. The head coach before me, last year, he kind of did a lot of the work with that. And then this year, when I got the position, it was brought to my attention. I have one of my good friends is the coach for Oakland, Nick Mammal.
Yeah.
And he just kind of reached out, asked if we would be willing and, wanting to join their conference. He kind of gave me the situation. And I know that's kind of one of the bigger things to go Division I is to, have the backing from a conference. So, when we were asked by Oakland and everybody in that conference was wanting us to join, it was kind of a no-brainer to do so, because we just don't know when we might have that opportunity again. And I think we're just, as a program, in a good spot to do that. So really, I think the main thing is to have backing from a conference, and just to have that, success in your past.
So, but that's next year. We still want to kind of focus on this year. We're joined, by the way, again by Brandon Orth, the head coach of Saginaw Valley, right now ranked number 8 in the latest men's Division III poll. And we talked with Travis Rybchinski from the D2 level. The schedule and the points that you get from playing a tough schedule has got to help you. And again, you've got 8 Michigan schools, if I'm not mistaken, ranked in the top 16. So that's got to help your cause tremendously.
Absolutely. I mean, that any team we play, it's always a top 25 team for the most part. And again, it's just the state of Michigan that we put ourselves in a good spot to be able to do that. So, with playing a Hope College, a Central Michigan, or Michigan in general, who just won the national championship, it really kind of gives you a look of where you stand with the top teams in the country right off the bat, especially when they're in your conference. So when you're kind of playing the best, you're just making your team a better team and kind of seeing where you need to work on things to be that national championship team. So us Michigan teams are very, very lucky to kind of be able to play each other like we have.
So on your team this year, Brandon, what if there's anything that the team has done this year that's on the good side that's kind of surprised you a little bit, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, just with any team, with adding quite a few guys, it's just to see how the chemistry is. We truly got a great group of guys, and just how well they've gelled so far in the season. I would say even the first couple of weeks, you can just tell that we're a close team, and we truly have that feeling of a family. The guys are always hanging out, and it's really cool to see that brotherhood happen with them. So we're bringing in, I believe it was 8 guys this year. Just seeing them get along with everybody from the team previously, and just we didn't have to worry about like, oh, is this guy going to fit in? Everybody brought is bought in together, and we're a family here at Saginaw.
Well, I see before you go to break, you get to take a little trip down to Arkansas to play a pretty solid D3 program.
Yep. So we're very excited with that. Every year we try to do a trip that's a little farther from Michigan.
Yeah.
Last year we did Florida. This year we got Arkansas. So at first I was like a little sketchy about it. I'm like, that could be some bad travel with weather, but I guess that's pretty close to Oklahoma. So I'm happy about that and get some nice weather in December. So yeah, just excited to have this experience for our guys to, make a trip with again, your team and something that they can look on, down the road.
So some of the leaders on your team, the captains and whatnot, talk a little bit about them if you could.
Yeah, so our captain is Kyle Kubiak. He's been with the program for quite a few years now. He leads by example. He's always toughening out stuff. If he's hurt, he's just a guy that you can rely on day in, day out. And then our 3 assistant captains, I'll start with Garrett Sawyer. He's a kid from Minnesota, but he's the nicest kid that, you could ever think of. 6'7", so he takes up a lot of ice.
Wow.
And just, again, everybody loves him, leads by example. And then we have Tyler Russell. He was new to our team last year, but the maturity that he has, it was kind of a no-brainer for this year to name him assistant captain. He really commands the locker room and, leads by example on the ice with his play. And then our last assistant captain, Bruce McLean, he's just a kid that does everything that you ask him to. And just with our whole leadership group, it's just great to see what they provide our team. And they're putting, a good thing for our younger guys to look up to, which is huge in any program. You want them to lead by example. And, even though we have 4 guys with letters on the jerseys, we have a lot of other guys that have stepped up to be leaders. And again, it doesn't matter if you have a letter on your jersey, just, do the right things. And, our guys with the letters, definitely do that.
So with those games coming up yet, before the break, and then of course what I like to call the sprint in January and February, what do the fellas got to work on, Brandon? Do you think, just to kind of keep it going as they get closer and closer to a potential return trip to St. Louis?
Yeah, just making sure they're doing the little things. One thing I like to tell our guys is play a simple game, because as soon as, teams get away from that and try to do too much, that's when things break down. And again, when you're playing at the level that you are, sometimes it's hard to remember that. And as physical as hockey is and aggressive as it is, our biggest thing is, just be smart. Don't get into the extra stuff after the whistle. And, I'll be honest, at the beginning of the year, we struggled with that quite a bit. But, the last 4 weeks, we've really, taken care of that issue. So, again, the diversity that these guys, they get thrown to them, they're able to solve it. So I'm just very happy with what they're able to do. And if we play Cardinal hockey, as we call it, I think we can make our trip to St. Louis again.
So this being your first time on the show, tell us a little bit, Brendan, about your experience leading up to becoming the head coach at Saginaw Valley.
Yeah, so I played junior hockey down in Nashville for the NA3 team. Played there for a year and a half, and then finished my junior career in Texas for the junior Brahmas in the NA3. And then I played for Oakland University, ACHA D1 team. Played there for a year, and then I just decided just to kind of start working. And then I had the opportunity. The previous head coach, he's a friend of mine, and played on the same men's league team. And he's like, hey, why don't you come out and be assistant coach? So did that last year, and I've enjoyed it ever since. So when I had the opportunity to become head coach, I was ecstatic, and it's been a blessing, and just truly honored to coach the guys that we have.
What's been the toughest part of all of a sudden being the head man?
Honestly, it's being as an assistant coach, you're more of the one that's friends with the guys on the team, kind of. And now it's like, all right, well, at an instant, I have to stop being the good guy all the time. And thankfully, we have 2 assistant coaches that take that role very well. One being Tyler Cataline. He used to be.
I know Tyler real well.
Yep, from Central. So, and then our other assistant coach is Aaron Shaheen. He was our captain the last year, and I think the year before that. But what's nice with that is I grew up with Aaron myself. we're the same age. So, he has that relationship with the guys where he can kind of come to me with stuff. And, if there's something they don't want to come to me, they have those two. So, I'm really blessed to have those two on my coaching staff.
So I take it that you're a Wings fan. At least I hope you are.
I'm a Wings fan, but with being in Nashville, I'm also a Predators fan.
Okay, we'll let it go. We'll let that go. Well, there's two players on your team that are a little that I keep an eye on. I broadcasted them playing high school football, Ben Wellnitz and Trey Morgan. If you see them, you tell them Captain Lou said hi, will you? Or when
I can certainly do that.
I appreciate that. Hey, Brandon, it sounds like you have a lot of fun doing it too. And, that to me is huge with this, it sounds like it never gets old.
Yeah, no, it's been a great time. I'm looking forward to see what the program has for the future and kind of what we can do to finish off this year, and then what happens going Division I next year.
Well, Brandon, thanks a lot for taking time out tonight to be with us. I really do appreciate it. Keep up the great work, man. And like I said, I'm going to do the best I can to get up to the Saginaw Bay Ice Arena to watch you guys play sometime after the first of the year, because it sounds like an absolute hoot.
Yeah, absolutely. If you do, please let us know. We'll get you in there and get the full experience.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks again for coming on, Brandon. Good luck the rest of the year.
Absolutely. You have a good one.
All right. You too. Brandon Orth, the head coach of the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals, ranked right now number 8 in the country in men's Division III. And it's a little different than it was back in the day at the D3 level. They don't have to go through that gauntlet. That is the regionals. So what they do is they have the computer rankings for the top 16 teams in men's Division III. And then they go directly to St. Louis, and we're going to take a look at those rankings. We're going to take another break here momentarily, but when we come back, we're going to go through the rankings, the latest rankings in the 4 of the 5 divisions. The women's D2 rankings have yet to come out yet. And when they do, yet to come out yet, well, that sounded pretty good. Anyways, we'll go through the rankings in the other divisions and kind of give you an idea who's on top, who's sitting where, and then anything else that's going on in the world of the ACHA. So we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll have more right here on the ACHA Power Play. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the ACHA Power Play live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube, powered up by Belly Up Sports. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here. You got your tickets for Spartan Stadium yet for Michigan State playing Central, maybe down the road against Michigan? Speaking of Michigan at the Big House, you got your tickets there for Ohio State or whoever they might play? Well, I've got just the answer if you don't. That's SeatGeek. They've got great seats available at great prices. You say you might want to go to Penn State later on this year for a ball game? Michigan's going there in November. I highly recommend checking out SeatGeek. They've got great seats, great prices, the best way to go to get your tickets. So if you want to go to Spartan Stadium or if you want to go to the Big House this fall, make sure you check out SeatGeek. And while you're there, use the promo code Captain Lou. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek.com, the best place to go to get your tickets for this fall. And welcome back, everybody, to the ACHA Power Play. We're live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube, powered up by Belly Up Sports. Check us out at bellyupsports.com for our complete list of all of our podcasts that we have on the network. We've got such an excellent array of podcasts covering all the sports, pro and college hockey, pro and college football, same with basketball, MLB, you name it. We've got such a great lineup of shows. I invite you to check them out at bellyupsports.com, and also check out our latest articles written by just a great, great crew of sports writers. That's at bellyupsports.com. All right, again, thanks to Brandon Orth for joining us here on the ACHA Power Play. We're going to wrap things up tonight with taking a look at the latest rankings in the divisions. First of all, we'll start. Let's start with the men's D3 ranking. See if we can't bring that up real quick here. All right. The magic of live here, live television, if you will. All right. I think we can get that up there for you real quick. All right. Here's the men's ranking. Number one ranking right now. It came out last week. The next one will probably come out tomorrow with our luck here this week. But, anyways, going into last weekend, here are the rankings in men's Division III. And we talked about the state of Michigan dominance. You've got Grand Valley at 1, Hope at 2, Colby at 3, Michigan at 4, Michigan State at 5. Then you got Missouri State at 6, Oakland at 7, Saginaw Valley, we talked about them at 8, Purdue at 9, Air Force at 10, Dartmouth at 11, Lawrence Tech at 12, Florida Gulf Coast at 13, CMCC at 14, and then you've got Calvin at 15 and Creighton at 16. So again, how it works, they no longer do the divisions in men's or the regions, I should say, in men's Division III. So the top 16 teams will go in the tournament at the D3 level coming up in March of next year. So Grand Valley, Hope, Colby, and Michigan, if it were to end like this today, they would get the top seeds in each of the 4 pools. So the men's the men's D2 and the D3 work the same way. They've got pool play with 4 pools in they play a round robin setup for the first 3 days, and then they take the top teams in each of the 4 pools, and then they play in the semifinals and the finals. And last year, I believe it was Grand Valley, Michigan, Arkansas, and Hope that made it to the Final Four last year. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to double check on that. But it was quite a tournament this last year. Again, this year obviously is going to be in St. Louis. So, all right, continuing on with some of the other rankings, let's take a look at the men's Division I ranking. And as we take a look at that, the latest rankings from last week, anyways, that were out a week ago yesterday. Minot State, again, at number 1. Central Oklahoma, number 2. We talked about the University of Marietta in North Dakota. They've been to the national tournament at the D2 level the last 3 years, winning 2 of them and finishing just out of the Final Four last year. They're in at number 3 this year at D1. Dan Huntley's done an amazing job with the University of Mary, so they're right up there at number 3. UNLV, the Skating Rebels at 4, Adrian at 5, Jamestown at 6, Niagara at 7. You could see it, Grand Valley at 8, Indiana Tech, Frank DeCristofaro's team doing an amazing job. They're at 9, Liberty at 10, Arizona at 11, and you can see right down the list down to 25 at Pittsburgh, Calvin at 16, Davenport at 18, Dearborn at 17, Purdue Northwest at 20. Now, the thing to keep in mind this year is the format has been expanded to 24 teams. So it used to be 20 until this year. And the top 8 or the 8 conferences get an automatic bye in the national tournament. And then you've got 16 at-large bids. So that's kind of how that works in men's Division I. Now, remember, how it works in the D1 level for the men, it's a bracketed one-and-done tournament, just like March Madness in basketball. So it is sudden death every game. And we've had some doozies over the year. There was quite a few overtimes last year. And, of course, last time we were in St. Louis with Central Oklahoma, then that 5 overtime game. So, yeah, there are some big games. It's, you can't afford to make too many mistakes and live to play another day in the D1 format, with it being single elimination. And finally, at the women's Division I level, let's take a look at some of the rankings there if we can. Here, we can bring that up. As we talked about it on the last week, Midland took over number 1 for Liberty. Well, the latest rankings, if I can bring that down so you can see it, Liberty is back on top at number 1, followed by Midland, Adrian College at number 3, Michigan at 4, McKendree at 5, Maryville at 6, Arizona State at 7, Indiana Tech at 8, Jamestown at 9, and Minot State at 10. The top 10 teams in women's Division I go to the national tournament and it's a bracketed format, but it's double elimination with a couple of buys. The top 2 teams get buys. So it's kind of a, you get a couple of games at least, with the double elimination style in the beginning. So again, it's an interesting format for the women's Division 1. So there you go. That's a look at the rankings right now in women's Division 1. All the rankings, men's D2, men's D3, and men's D1. It's, it's fun to look at them. And, they change a little bit each week. But boy, after the first of the year, that's when it really gets down to crunch time. But we're coming up on Thanksgiving. We call it the measuring sticks, will be next week. We'll have another program coming up here. And, obviously we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be every other week until after Thanksgiving. And then we'll be weekly. We're taking a break for Christmas. But then after January, we're going to be on every week with all the rankings, with the coaches and everything coming on. So we invite you to stick around and watch us throughout the year. Now, one of the last things we want to talk about here before we go to break is, or before we end the show here tonight, is we've got some teams that are going to be going to D1 starting next year. Now, we talked about it with Saginaw Valley. They're going to be making the jump from D3 to D1 next year. There's 3 other teams that are going to be making the jump up to Division 1 next year. Another one from the state of Michigan, that's Northwood University. And they're going to be in the Great Lakes Collegiate Hockey League along with Saginaw Valley next year. Northern Arizona is going to bump up to Division 1 along with Drury out of Springfield, Missouri. So it's great. It's going to be a lot of fun with watching them and see how much success they can have at the D1 level. So we'll keep an eye on that. But big news for them, as now we're going to have 76 teams in Division 1 starting next year. And so the field keeps expanding. And, it's college hockey at its best. Don't let the moniker fool you. This is really, really, it's a great, great brand of hockey. And can't say enough about it. Just love being a small part of the ACHA and being able to bring you the games and whatnot. I'm going to be at a big game tomorrow night. For those of you that want to watch a good game tomorrow night at the D1 level, check out the Calvin University Sports Network on YouTube. Hope and Grand Valley will be duking it out Grand Valley and Calvin, I should say, at the Calvin Sports Network. That's a crosstown rivalry renewed. We'll have that game tomorrow at 8:15. So it's going to, just some of the big games going on. So a lot of great, great competition. All right. Well, that's going to about do it here tonight for the ACHA Power Play. Again, want to thank Travis Rybchinski for joining us from Dakota College-Bottineau. Again, off to a great start. They're ranked number 1 in the West region in men's Division 2. And also want to thank Brandon Orth, the head coach of Saginaw Valley, for joining us tonight. Saginaw Valley right now out of Saginaw, Michigan area, ranked number 8 in the state, or at 8 the country rather, in Division 3. And finally, as always, want to thank you, the viewer, for taking time out to watch us as well. All right, that's going to do it here on the ACHA Power Play. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode of the program, so we invite you to check us out then. Until then, this is Captain Lou saying have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy the hockey. Take some time out to watch some great hockey at any level. I know you'll enjoy it. All right, one more reminder, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. Thanks again for joining us, as always, here on the ACHA Power Play. And again, until next time, Captain Lou saying so long, and we'll see you then on another edition of the ACHA Power Play on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. So long.